And this is our picnic spot for today. Here's my salad. You can see the stuff in it. And James has a similar salad and banana mandarin smoothie, which he loves. And this protein soda, Joyburst Buzzy Peach Rings. And some donuts, maybe for the dogs, and chips, green machine. So mostly I'm eating the salad and maybe some of these protein bars. So I'll show you the difference, the nutritional information on that one, on this one, on that one there, and this one James might have. I think this one's funny because it says on the front, where is it? Certified vegan right there. Okay. And then on the back it says may contain peanuts, eggs, soy, and other tree nuts. Funny, hey? So anyway, well, eggs. Okay. James may have some of this.
Doesn't understand vegan. Okay.
Yeah, certified vegan, but maybe not. And he might have some of this. Okay. So we're going to be talking about the Bible again.
Oh, about the Bible. That's what we did the last time I came.
Elvis, what are you doing? Don't do that. All right, so you go ahead and start talking about the Bible, James.
Okay, so we just finished listening to Ezekiel on the way down here, or up here, I should say. I'm thinking down in terms of south on a map, but it's up here in terms of elevation. Actually, Waterton townside, I don't think is that much higher than Lethbridge city center, or any part of Lethbridge, frankly, on the west side. But we're listening to Ezekiel, including the racier parts.
I'm going to put this chocolate in before, until we have it.
I think that's a good idea. Otherwise, we could end up with
melted chocolate.
What would it be like? I don't know.
Pudding?
Pudding, chocolate pudding.
Okay, I'm going to put your yogurt in here too.
That's probably a good idea.
And the rest will be fine.
Cool yogurt's a lot better than lukewarm.
Got to get forks. Yeah. I'll be right back.
I'll continue talking.
You continue.
So we listened to the raciest part of Ezekiel, Ezekiel 23, and it used to be infamous. Now it's probably not even famous. But when I discovered it as a youngster, I was kind of surprised. Now it's not really pleasant stuff because it mixes violence with sex, and some people really apparently get off on that. You look at the opening of the various CSIs, particularly CSI Vegas or whatever it's called, and the first part of it, the opening scene or scenes, will involve sex and violence usually. And we were watching something recently that had a rather acute mix of sex and violence. Was that the heathen? What was it that David Bowie? The Hunger. Why would I say heathen? I don't know.
I love this because of the back. It's a great shirt.
She likes those X type of...
Yeah, but this one's different. This one's...
Yeah, it is a slightly different pattern. It's symmetrical, but not... It might be symmetrical only in one...
So that's James's salad. Pretty fancy.
Wow, that looks so healthy. It's incredible.
Not as healthy as mine, actually.
Well, you're going to show people what's in yours?
Yours has red onions. Mine does not. But
onions don't treat choline very well.
So
they're healthy, but not for.
Mine has the red ruby kraut, which yours does not. Yours has fresh red
healthy
cabbage
too.
Instead.
Yeah.
So it's healthy.
Well, cabbage is good. Probably as good as kraut. I'm telling you, something's happening in the park today. Looking out the edges of Bertha Peak or whatever. There's a helicopter coming down. There's one going out. We saw one this morning.
So many helicopters. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
When you don't see them.
Elvis one.
Trailing.
Opie one.
Something from below. I figure they're searching for someone, which is not a good sign. No. Could
Maybe
be worse.
someone's being trained or something. You never know.
Could be. Could be. Never know. Anyway, I have to hope for the best. Remember the one time we went to Crip Lake? Was it last year? And when we were getting off, they took 2 boatloads over.
Yep.
One boatload didn't go with us. And then we saw a helicopter coming right up the, I guess, Creek
I don't know what happened there.
Valley. And
It's very strange.
they might have been looking for people coming illegally across the border. I think it'd be much easier coming across like around Delvanito. It's wide open, kind of like ranch land. But you got to do what they got to do. Prefer if they'd find other countries to seek opportunity in. The world a long time ago ran out of space.
So yeah, listening to the Old Testament today.
Thanks for changing the topic.
I don't know
Or getting back on
why
topic.
God made women menstruate if he finds menstruation so offensive.
There's a lot of prescriptions about menstruation in the Old Testament or the Hebrew Scripture. And the terminology, I figure, is offensive, unclean. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Anyway. So we're talking about Ezekiel. There's a lot of passages that are a little bit racy. Israel and Judah are compared to a couple of hookers, I guess. What's the term that he was using the translation? Whores, maybe?
Prostitutes, maybe?
Harlots? Yeah. That's it. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know what's in the King James Version. I kind of forgot. But it was a bit of a shock to me when I ran across that as a youthster. But better get used to it when you read the Bible. Ezekiel's full of, this is for Tommy Thompson or whatever, Tom Thompson or whatever his name is. Scandinavian, I think, Swedish. Pseudo intellectual.
Put that in there so it stays cold too.
The basic idea of him and his crew seems to be that the Old Testament was stolen lock, stock, and barrel from the Babylonians during the Babylonian captivity, and what wasn't stolen was just made up. And they probably think that he and his crew or ilk probably think most of it was made up. So, for example, one of his crew, nice enough guy. Anyone who knows anything about Hebrew Scripture knows better. He came up with this idea, very enthused about it, it's academic. He was saying, oh, the prophecies and the prophets weren't just myths. The prophets themselves were mythic figures. They're just all made up. So it's not like according to him, the prophets weren't making stuff up. People made stuff up about the prophets making stuff up. And you listen to it, and well, you know, there's verisimilitude. So they keep on talking about in Ezekiel. Notice I say they. Because I don't know how close the book we have now. That was just a cyclist going by. Save that for the motorcyclists.
Elvis,
okay, guys?
settle down.
Anyway, we did see one today out on. What was that? Cameron Lake Parkway? What do they call that? Cameron Parkway? Acamina Parkway. And there was a reason for it. He was a smart guy. He stopped well short of what he wanted to take a photograph of. and that was a bear. Some people are reporting it as a grizzly bear. We're going to see.
I think it was a cinnamon.
I think it was a brown bear.
Yeah.
The ones that we tend to see here, the brown bears, tend to be black. You notice that? The majority of the ones that we've seen, at least up close. Maybe it's because they're a little bit more evident.
Yeah, most of them are cinnamon bears, brown black bear.
Well, most I've seen have been black.
Okay, but when they're brown, they tend to be brown black bears, not grizzlies.
Yeah, we're talking about two different things. Exactly
Oh.
right. Most of the brown bears that we've seen have been black in color. But yeah, I've only seen 3 grizzlies up here. That was all at the same time. And so these were reported as grizzlies. Maybe.
Or they could just be different.
It could have been a different one.
Yeah. Why come by twice? Elvis, lay down. Nope, not that way. Nope. Go ahead and continue on, James. You come.
Anyway,
Come, and you lay down.
there are details in Ezekiel where he's mentioning, where he or they mention
Elvis.
Togarma. What is that? Well, the real place
Just
is
lay right here. This
Tilgarim,
is where I want you.
or the real rendering of it by the Assyrians in
Do you
the
want a
Assyrian
donut?
language, Tilgarim.
Okay, I'll give you a donut.
Togarma. If you have problems hearing the similarity, don't try linguistics, okay? Mention Tubal or Tubal. Well, that's Assyrian Tabal. If you can't hear the similarity, if you get messed up with the difference of one vowel in there, don't try out linguistics, okay? Now, you're listening to the guy who's actually figured out where that was, what that was. That's the Hittite Empire. Later on, the Hittite Empire ended, and the guy who ended it was Sargon II, from what I can tell. And this was considerably before Ezekiel. It was just a little bit before 7. Well, around 712 BC. It might have been just a little bit after, somewhere around there. Everything that Sargon II did, we don't know. Well, we've got a rough idea of what he did, but what was done under his generals, and so on and so forth. They were doing so much by his point in time that I guess they didn't bother. It's amazing, some of the stuff that they just gave short shrift to. They were dealing with a major league empire north of them, or kingdom, called Urartu. That's the way the Assyrians rendered what the Jews rendered as Ararat. Okay, Urartu, Ararat. Can't hear the similarity? Well, there's not much hope for you when it comes to languages, linguistics, whatever. Anyway, they were dealing with Ishpuinas and Menoah. They were the most powerful, I guess, Urartian rulers, and it's just barely passing mention. They mentioned a whole bunch of people they were dealing with that they were messing around to the north of them, and they just kind of mentioned these guys. Yeah? It's funny how the Assyrian annals are. They seem to be more concerned about listing numbers of kings that they were messing around with, including vassals, than actually mentioning the most important ones. And really, when you think about it, they were going, well, we're the only important ones, and so we've made Menoah, Ishpuinas kind of like flunkies. Boy, those helicopters are having a fun time today.
Maybe
Okay.
Elvis won't bark now that his mouth is full. There's so no.
Well,
Elvis, calm down.
I wasn't saying hi to you folks
He
at
was
home.
still barking with his mouth full.
Of course.
He had that whole big donut in his mouth.
Did he keep it in his mouth?
Yeah,
Oh, well,
he kept it in his mouth while he was barking.
That guy's
He
telling.
didn't want to give it up.
Yeah.
Stop it. Okay, I'll take it away.
Oh, my heavens.
Lots of kids.
Okay. I'm just hoping these guys get motivated to move. You see what they're doing?
Texting.
I don't know. I just wish they'd get on your
workers.
eyesight.
Texting
Well,
on a walk.
well, at least they're on their feet. And now they're moving.
All right.
Anyway,
Mm-mm.
you get a little bit of the geography of
You
Egypt.
finished
You
it
know?
already? How did you do that?
All right. So, what else?
I mentioned Memphis. That's the Greek translation. It'd probably be something like Noph. Heliopolis, they say, but that would be something like On. I mentioned Pelusium. I've kind of forgotten what that would be in the original Egyptian.
You can't
I
have
mentioned
most of this 'cause it
Bubastis
has
again
chocolate
with
in
an
it.
S ending. You figure it's Greek. And Pelusium is probably Latin. It probably should be something like Pelusion. Anyway,
And James will have to look
Bubastis.
it up.
I think that was something like the House of Bast or Bastet. Pier Bastet, something like that. So that's in Ezekiel. Like if it's all made up after
No.
in Mesopotamia, what would they care about the or
Elvis
he or
loves
she
donut.
care about the geography of Egypt? Just chuck anything in there. Do a Book of Mormon. Huh? Mentions Meshach. Now Meshach is listed in the Table of Nations way back in Genesis. Did it actually exist? Assyriologists were maybe a little bit surprised to discover that, oh, the Assyrians had dealings, and fairly direct dealings for a while, just before 700 BC. And maybe just after too. With a place they call Mushki.
I don't know how you're eating this
Mushki.
many donuts.
If you have trouble hearing the similarity, in other words, basically they're trying to render the same place. Mushki, Meshach. And Mushki, the Assyrians were messing around with a guy called, so this is Sargon II. I think maybe a little bit his son, Sennacherib. I think it was just Sargon. They were messing around with a guy called Mita, and they called him Mita of Mushki. And some brilliant person, who was actually brilliant,
I'll put it in my container.
he figured out that Mita was actually the Assyrian rendering of the person whose name was rendered by the Greeks as Midas. And they actually discovered Mita of Mushki's grave as a tumulus. How much time?
Oh, you have 11 minutes.
11 minutes.
Keep talking.
So Mita of Mushki was Midas. Why the S? Well, that's a Greek masculine nominative ending, okay? D to T, well, if you can't hear the similarity, take a course in linguistics. If you still can't hear the similarity, or at least intellectually recognize it, maybe it's your discipline is not linguistics. I'm just trying to give you a sense of how stuff that was considered legendary or mythic actually, in some cases, maybe many cases, not just when it comes to Hebrew stuff, Jewish, but Greek in the case of Midas,
I'm only gonna have a bite
maybe
of this one,
there
because
is
there's
some
actually a lot of
basis of
carbs.
reality. Now they found his tumulus, and they were a little bit, so that's a big, it's made out of earth, kind of like a earthen pyramid. And he was buried in there. I think they found did they find his skeleton? They figured they found Alexander the Great's, and this is about 400 years later, Alexander the Great's father's skeleton, including he was supposed to have suffered some eye damage, and the skull had damage that indicated maybe the eye had been thumped before the person died. So Mita Mushki, they didn't discover any gold. So he's this guy's supposed to have the golden touch. Maybe he lost it by the time he died, but he came from Phrygia, according to now there's nothing that says
Elvis,
that
Hey,
Come here. You be good boy. I don't want to hear that anymore.
Okay.
Nope. I gave you lots of good treats. You lay down and be good boy.
So the Greeks called the place where Midas ruled Phrygia. So that's in the central western part of present-day
You're not getting this.
Turkey. So the Phrygia might have included Ankara, however you mispronounce that name, stuff like that. Not the like when you get right to the extreme part of the western part of Turkey. The Greeks called that in the northwest Mysia, and Asia in the middle west, and in the southwest Lydia. So if you know a woman called Lydia, well, she's named after Lydia. Anyway, ancient kingdom. It was probably the most powerful. Mysia was where Troy was located, incidentally. And folks, they did find Troy. You know, like a guy called Heinrich Schliemann discovered it. And you know, that might have been 150 years ago. So news flash, some of the stuff that you find in ancient documents has at least some foundation in archaeology and or history. Newsflash, this includes, sorry you guys who continue to make a straw man out of the Old Testament. Understand, you are dealing with an agnostic here, okay? I'm an agnostic, not a believer, anything like that. So, you know, stop making a straw man, like saying, oh, you know, all this stuff was invented, made up, or stolen from the during the Babylonian captivity, or stolen from the Babylonians and stuff like that. After 586 BC, it's all just you know, incidentally, we're Scandinavians, and even though we're not practicing Lutherans anymore, we've inherited Lutherans' anti-Semitism, and the Jews don't, according to us. That's not me, okay? I'm talking using someone else's speech, okay? And they claim that the Jews, from that and lots of other silly sorts of things, have no right to the Holy Land and stuff like that. You've even got silly people. There was some guy called Salibi or something like that. This might have been in the late 70s. He was, I guess, commissioned by the Saudis or came from Saudi Arabia. He might have come from elsewhere, might have been a Palestinian. But he was claiming the Holy Land for the Jews was along the Red Sea. Bingo. So just in case there's some doubt, you know, there's some, you know, maybe it was. So let's be on the safe side, give that land along the Red Sea to the Jews as well, all right? Because you Muslims, in particular, have taken so much land, so much tax from Jews over history. Let's just consider this conciliation. It's not even reconciliation. You owe them, and big time, for all the land you've stolen from them, the holy sites, and that's not just the Temple Mount. There are places in Israel, in the so-called West Bank, it's really the East Bank of Israel, that where the patriarchs of the Jews were buried. Okay? So get that straight. So, yeah, if you Salibi or whatever your name is, if you want to go and say, well, it could be that the Holy Land was along the Red Sea, the eastern edge of it, yeah, give that to them too, okay? You owe them. The founder of your religion killed 600 to 900 Jews in one day, or at least done on his orders. He didn't get his hands dirty in that case. And their bodies were buried in the square of Medina. Apparently they were from that holy site of Medina. Maybe just give Medina to them too, okay? For the Jews. While you're at it. And start paying reparations for all the head taxes.
Okay, so
Land taxes you paid.
now we listened to quite a few parts of the Bible today, not just.
Well, we listened to Ezekiel, finished it up, and then we started listening to Daniel.
Okay. Well, I did like Ezekiel.
The first stuff
There
that
was
we're.
some interesting stuff in there.
You like the imagery? I mean,
Yeah.
Salvador Dali,
I mean-
hold on to your britches.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty wild and crazy.
Yep.
Surreal. Yeah.
There's some stuff in there that you think, wow, this sounds like witchcraft or something. Like, it's
Yeah.
very interesting. And
But because they only worship one God, any sort of superstitious kind of stuff like that's got to be okay.
yeah, but it's wild. I mean, you wouldn't think that'd be in there. And there was the one part where, what's the space, where there was the discussion, I guess, with God about cooking food. What?
Little
a
brown
little.
squirrel there. Want some food here? Speaking of food,
Is it a squirrel?
a ground squirrel.
Oh no, we shouldn't have said it.
Or is it a squirrel?
I think it's a bun.
It's got a long tail.
Okay, then it's ground squirrel. My
It's
eyesight is
very well fed.
Yes, it's a very fat thing. It looked round like a bunny.
Well, it's right next to a picnic area. So. Sorry about that, folks, at home.
sweet.
But we've had quite a time
We've
viewing
had a
wildlife today.
Fun day.
Yeah.
So,
the wildest of all were the dogs, of course. But
Yeah.
anyway,
So how do you like that drink?
I'm enjoying it to the max, folks.
Okay.
Whatever it is.
So it has 1 carb in it
Wow.
and 4 grams of protein.
Okay. So it's got some protein in there. You got an excess of protein, which is what you're looking for, I guess, by comparison with carb. Fuzzy peach rings.
Don't do it.
So I guess peach rings are put in there. I like peach taste.
It's just
Better than I
tastes
actually like
that.
peaches, and I like peaches pretty good. Prefer nectarines, I gotta say. But nectarines are close to my favorite fruit. Anyway, she caught it before it spilled. That's incredible. But you know, when you're out here picnicking in Waterton, you get used to catching things because things can get tipped over in the wind.
So these bags of chips that have been on my table unopened.
Oh my gosh!
Were
I thought you
you
weren't gonna.
hoping that I was going to eat them?
No,
Is that what you
not
like
at all.
to do?
I keep telling myself I'm going to eat one at a time, and after about a whole year, I'll have gone through them. Boy, that guy is looking over here. He
Dill
said,
pickle potato chips are my favorite,
Yep.
and that bag has been open on my table.
"Yeah, I know.
for
I'm not a
a
chip,
long
but
time. Don't do it,
that
Elvis.
guy's looking over. He's pretending he's getting a lot of food over
You're
there.
right. He is.
He
He's
said,
looking at the picnic. Elvis, don't do it.
"Can you beat what I found here?" Well, Elvis scared him off. I know.
Well, he's probably not far off. He's hoping that there's going to be some donuts,
Some
and whatever
leavings.
left behind.
Yeah, crumbs.
But I picked up Elvis's donuts.
That
He's
is
out of
one.
luck.
Yeah, that's one healthy looking. Maybe so healthy it's overweight.
Elvis
One
ate
healthy looking
about
ground
4
squirrel.
donuts because he ate part of that one, but it has chocolate on the inside, so it couldn't
Well,
eat the whole thing.
The chocolate's coming out the outside because it's
Well, I ripped it off.
kind of melted
Yeah.
a little bit here in the sun.
Yeah.
So we're having a great day in the sun here.
Yeah.
Started out rainy, drizzly, whatever.
Yep.
How much time? 3?
40 seconds.
Okay.
Wrap her up.
Nope. You're encouraged, folks. Especially you folks going around saying every
Nope. Don't do
religion
it.
is about peace, love, and flowers. Stop. You know, stop the insanity. Stop the madness. Sorry, Susan Powder, for channeling you. Stop the craziness and start reading. I insist on it. I'm tired of hearing you guys spout off about what you think you know or think you should know.
Yeah, people say they're into religion or education's so important and they don't educate themselves.